All right, so anyways, I think we're gonna do getting the trim to fit. I probably should have ordered the pins and stuff to put the clips on and put them around the window, but I haven't yet. Hopefully soon. And yeah, let's get to the intro. So thing is, around here, you guys remember if you watch my previous videos of me working on the roof and putting the splice and dicing and all that stuff on there. I knew this was going to be a problem just because that's how it goes. Cut one thing apart and another thing's going to be affected, which is fine. Just cut some more metal, move it to where it needs to go, and that's the trim around a window. I know I said before I don't really want to do the Fessler glass on this because I don't want to spend the insane amount of money for what it costs for a piece of glass just to get rid of trim. So we're going to go with trim around the windshield, and I know I have it around the door window here, but I think I'm going to get rid of that stuff because I think I like it a little bit better without that particular trim. And I think it is Camaro Central sells black anodized aluminum trim for around the front and rear windshield. I think it's them. So I'll probably buy that for this because, well, I'm not a flashy kind of guy. It's more subtle the better. Even other cars that I had were always like this, like, yeah, it was a loud color, like my one convertible Camaro, but So anyways, let's get to the driver's side. Kind of started just to see if my idea will work, and yeah, kind of figured it would. So here we go. What I was doing was split the roof here to fit the trim, and it kind of fits pretty decently. A little bit of filler in here. It's not going to be too much, just enough to tighten that gap up. Same thing with up here to smooth out the line. As you see, sliced it there, and all you do is a bunch of tacks, grind it smooth like I did on the scene here when I did the roof. So goes to the other side, to the passenger side. If you watch, what was it? Oh, Place Grip Garage, the drinker side. And same deal with over here. As you see, stay out the bottom fairly decently, go up the top, hey, there's the gap, and there's a pretty big gap up there. And I know some people aren't going to be bothered by that. I will be. And yeah, let's get this down flat, and you see how big that gap is up there. That's caused by that radius here not being able to go far enough back in, and that's just a function of when they stamp the roof, because the splice is down. Yeah, you can see it splices to the roof, to the A-pillar is right here, and that's the radius of the roof itself. Their miles may vary. Some people don't have problems with it. Like I said, it's my problem. Coming back here on the rear window, I was managed to get everything into place, kind of fit that in there. I mean, got a decent gap there, but that's like I said before in another video, that's a shit part I got from Classic Industries. Eventually it's going to get replaced with the carbon one from Anvil. Maybe we'll hit the lottery or something like that, because I love carbon fiber. So anyways, coming back here, I think I pointed out before, this doesn't match there. So there's the corner piece. So I got to take my time, slice this, flatten that out, and then I got to make a little filler piece for down in there. And on the driver's side, it's a little further over this way. So I put the roof on. I don't say I put the roof on wrong, and it's favoring the driver's side more, because I even said that when I put the roof on, I got to fit the best was up against the quarter panels were up against where the original roof was before I cut the roof off, so I knew that was in the right spot. Who knows, maybe I didn't get the roof on far enough over to the passenger side. Even though I had it cranked over with ratchet straps, try to pull over, it's just the way it fit. So what I'm going to do here, I might just fill it up with all metal. I mean, it's not that big of a gap there. It's 3/16. I know you're only supposed to use 1/8 inch or something like that filler, but just to, I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze of filling that up with a bunch of lead or cutting it and trying to move it over. Put a little bit of filler, because all this area here from like probably from here all the way down here should be with filler by the time you get done feathering out, so you can cover the seam up and stuff. So yeah, you got 3 areas that need to fix, cut, weld, grind. Let's get to it. Alright guys, so you just saw me cutting, grinding, all that stuff, and hammering. It doesn't take long. It looks like shit. But as you see, it's pretty good down there. And all the clips and everything gets in. Clips and everything will be in. There we go. It looks pretty more gooder. The gap up there I kind of can't help, because that's kind of the function of the way this is here. And how it goes in, it's that extra material causing the gap up there. Not really worried about that one. That doesn't bother me as much as that huge one that was there. Alright, break this guy out, tack weld over there, cut, and then grind it, DA it, all that fun stuff. That'll be coming up next. Yep, it's not perfect. I mean, there's a little bit of there that's sunk in a little bit, not a big deal. Like I said, this whole entire area before is going to get covered in filler work. I know that. I just didn't want to fill too much in where I didn't get the weld all the way. And you see a little bit. It's not too proud of the back surface, But anyways, like I said, from here, probably from here, at least here, down to probably here is going to be a filler just to make that seam smooth. Just going to take a look at the driver's side. Same deal. You may see it's a little proud here. But I might buy one of those pick tools where it welds in there and you can hammer out, pick, hammer, or use a slide hammer and it pulls it out. Yeah, looks like I got plenty of practice with that kind of stuff. 30 some years plus. Too many bad jokes. Same deal. A little bit of filler, probably gonna be filler. Like I said, probably when I get that tool to filler, it'll probably be at least from here down along that edge to smooth that out, probably down to about here too. All right, time for the next area of interest. Oh, I guess I should show you what it looks like with the trim kind of in place. How about we do that? It's fun trying to just one-handed. So that little bit of gap there, that was there previously, but now it fits so much better. That radius there, that's been bothering me every time I walked out here for the past couple months. Like I said, a little bit of filler in there. It's not too bad. Smooth that out. That little bit of gap there, I cannot help because it's this overlapping. You're gonna have some of a gap there. I mean, it'd be kind of weird to see like in the roof line. No, that's not gonna work. So all right, I guess take the little wizard wheel on my air grinder and whoop, that, hammer that flat, and then a little bit of filler piece down in there to see if I can cover that area up. And for those who are wondering, I do have Eastwood's internal frame coating. It has a 2-foot long tube. There's where the sun visor goes up underneath in here. There's an area where I can snake that down in there and hose the ever living crap out of this area. That was always the plan anyway, to do that. Because once I welded this on and welded this in here, I knew I needed to get something in the back there. And I'll buy like 4 or 5 cans of cavity wax to do down in the rockers, and then down low up in here to make sure there's no more rust coming in. All right, so we just set up for the back here, and this one's bothered me more than anything. I don't know why, it just has. All right, let me get to the getting. All right, so here we go. Here's the payoff. Here's what it looks like with it all ground down, D8 over. That's nice and tight in there. I know with a little bit of filler and stuff, it's going to probably push out a hair just fine. That gap there, like I said on the front, I can't do anything about it because the way it overlaps, it is what it is. Fits pretty good all the way down and around. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. I don't know if I'm going to modify this to fix it or not. Like I said, eventually I want to get the carbon fiber one for here from Anvil. So I may not do anything with it. Up front here, everything's taped into place, best I can get it. Looks pretty good there. This door needs to come out a smidge, which is kind of proud there, which is fine. I mean, I kind of threw all the stuff together just to see if it fit. But anyways, back on topic. So a little bit of filler in here, just to fill that in, smooth it out. And like I said here, once all the clips and everything get in, I pick hands out all the way here. Try my best to get that to look more gooder, but I think a pin goes here, pin goes here. I got the map somewhere on it. I was just looking at it the other day on my phone. But over here, here's what this looks like. Lines up pretty decent on the bottom there, pretty good. And same deal, just a smidge of filler. It was a little bit too much work to try to bring this out because I would have had to cut all that out. I can deal with a little bit of all metal or a little bit of fiberglass filler there. And the same deal over here. This looks bigger on camera than it really is for the gap. It's not even 3/16 of an inch. But this, like I said, this is gonna get all metal filler all through in here. And then, yeah. And then looks pretty good all the way down. And once all the clips and everything comes in, I could cold work some of this to make it fit a little better on the radius of the quarter panel. It's not too bad. I can work that. Worst case, I'll split this and we'll see. I kind of like the idea of splitting the quarter panel because it lines up pretty good here. We'll see when I get the other trim. But for now, the stock stuff works pretty good. All right, so it's been a few months after I shot the last little bit of this video. See, probably 3 or 4 months, something like that. Anyways, previous clips you saw me fitting the trim around the windows, and yeah, I think that's what I did. I cut and ground and welded stuff and all that. But anyways, getting back on it, finally got the screws for the window trim clips from this place. And it's funny, I actually watch a podcast on Wednesday nights during the spring and winter called 3 Lefts Don't Make It Right with John, I want to say Galante, but I think it's Galantine. And believe it or not, Lou Santiago. And anyways, they're always pushing these guys. I'm like, I knew about them for years, so let's order from stuff. But so yeah, I got stuff from Camaro Central. Black anodized trim and screws and the clips. But anyways, let's see where to go. That's the key. So there's a website called rustreplace.com that sells like the L channels for around the window frames and other just like small like repair parts for window channels that people don't like me who replace the whole roof and they just make channels for people who don't want to go through that work. So anyways, well, it's nice enough they have the locations for the windshield trim clip stud locations, and I don't think I bought enough. 21 says this here. Yeah, I probably have to order some more. All right, whatever. Doesn't matter. I can drill the holes anyway. So all right, let's take a look at here. So there we go. Let's lay these guys out, figure out the center line of the roof or of the car, and then go across. But yeah, if you go there, you can download the PDF file of where the trim locations go, or the clip locations. And there we go. All right. Set you on a quick little time lapse and lay some tape out and get some marks going. And just because I want to throw this into the clip, because since the last time you guys saw the car in this video that I'm currently doing now, big thing happened. You probably saw there was a bunch of black paint around there. I painted the inside of the car. I know, it's kind of weird seeing all one color. And it's a Eastwood epoxy black. Reason why Eastwood? Because I don't want to use $400 or $500 gallon PPG paint for inside the car. So alright, let's get on the time lapse and tape and lay out some marks. All right, couple of thoughts. So the locations that they have on the rust replace, not entirely correct. I went on Nasty Z real quick to take a look and see what other people have had on there. So if you notice on here, my starting passion size is same as driver, and it tells you to measure from roof seam down 8 inches. That doesn't work too well. I'll just show you in the car. There's 8 inches. So that's my hand. It's 9. Put you like right by here, and then 4.5, and then it would be, yeah. My hand is 9. My hand is 9, and so 8 be there, 4.5 be here, and like 4.5 was down here. So that wasn't right. So I went and asked DZ and found some people with pretty good pictures of the area in here, and it showed one up in here, and then it looked like it was about 4.25 evenly spaced throughout, and that's what I did on both sides. And the other thing is here, they don't really show you up top. I'll show you find the center line, which you saw me do the tape trick. I just marked the end here, peeled it back, went to the other side, and that's how I found out the center line of the car. That way, it's pretty accurate when you look down it through the front of the car. It actually lines up the peak of the hood pretty good. Anyways, here it says measure 1 7/8 over to the passenger side, and then 2 1/8 from over to the driver's side. But then it tells you it's 7 3/4 from these two, which is not right. It's 7 3/4 from center line, and then 7 6 3/8, and then 8 inches from the center line, 6 1/8 and 6, and that ends up being pretty evenly spaced. So that's not entirely, wasn't entirely correct for that. All right, on to the back side. Let's see how that one pans out. Alright, for the most part, the measurements seem to be correct for the what the rust replace has. And it's basically center line 8 1/4 out, 8 1/4 out for each stud across the top. And then down along the sides, it's 3 inches from the top of the roof here, and 8 1/4 and 8 3/8, which is what I found on Nasty Z, so that's exactly on. So alright, I had to trim out this test fitting a little bit, put the cover back on here. Whatever, I forget what the name of it is. So that's up on there now for the time being. Next up is going to be figuring out how far down I need to drill the holes, and it looks to be about a 1/2 inch, 480, 1/2 inch, somewhere around there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the trim, put the clip on it, see how far down it needs to go, so that way it's flush with the rest of the metal of the roof. There's going to be some gappage down in here between the trim and the body. It's one of them deals is like I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze to cut the quarter panel, bend it up, fill it back in, and try to get up there and paint and all that. A little bit of a gap is not going to bother me that much around trim. It's not a show car. It's going to be more of a race car than anything else. And I'm blowing past somebody at over 100 plus miles an hour, hopefully about at least 150 miles an hour. I kind of care just to be there's an 1/8 inch gap and a piece of trim down on the quarter panel. Don't sweat the small stuff unless you're building a show car. So alright, we're going to get my drill bit set up and stuff, and I'll get into that and tell you how I came up with the size of the drill bit that I'm particularly using for this, because it's actually not a common size. Alright, these are the screws that come from Camaro Central. They got a nice little shoulder on them here for where the trim clip sits on. Got a thread in there, and just ever so slightly tapered on the very beginning on the first thread, so it gets the center up, starts on there. So I took my pair of vernier calipers, zeroed them out, and looked at what the minor diameter was, and tried to find the smallest minor diameter. And the best I found on here, or the smallest I found, was 0.99, which is right at between a 40 and a 41 bit. For aerospace people, 40 bit, so 98 and a half, I think. But anyways, Harbor Freight, got a nice little drill set, or drill index if you want to call it. And let me find my scrap piece here I had. Alright, see here, you can see that? Yeah. So I started out drilling with a 40 bit, and, or 41 bit, because it was like 099. Let me try that. It was a little loose. Let me try a 40 bit. It was not bad. It was just about right, because that's an 098 bit. So then I went with down to a 41 bit. And that right there, that was a 096 bit, and that fit right in there perfect. Gave it just the right amount of force that it gripped onto the threads, and it's going to retain it pretty nicely. But the other trick is, people are like, oh, put it with silicone. I got panel bond. I'm going to put it in with panel bond so it doesn't leak and these don't come out. And worst case scenario, if I need to come out, I can grind the head off and just punch it through, and tail falls out where it falls out if I need to add more or remove or whatever. So anyways, got that, got the drill bit set up. I'm going to go through and drill a bunch of holes and figure out that. Oh, actually, yeah, drill a bunch of holes for the trim. But first, I'm going to take a measurement of this, because this needs to sit below the surface. These are trim clips. Below the roof line. And yeah, let's go figure that out real quick on the car. Hold on, let me just get guys reset. What I'm doing is kind of eyeballing it, scribing a line, see where the hole should be, and I'm just measuring off the surface here, like the radius top part there of the A-pillar cover. And your mileage may vary, but I'm getting 475 from where I'm at. And I'm just going to scribe a line at each. So paint's still kind of soft because it takes like Eastwood primer about 5 days to fully cure. 5 to 7 days to fully harden. Just because it has a long recoat window. So right now, if I wanted to, I can go respray a third coat on there. So anyways, let's double check to make sure it looks below the surface. Perfect spot in the door. Alright. Try my there we go. Let's try to see if that gets it. Ah, yeah. Problem is I hadn't had enough beer yet. So let's try a piece of the old windshield trim. Oh, here we go. Just to see. I'm right. Put them here. For giggles. It's kind of hard when you have a third hand. One to hold the trim, one to hold the clip. Just a moment. First time doing this. Yep, that'll work. So 475 down. This is what my measurement came up with. Yours may vary. So alright, time lapse. I'll go through, drill some holes. You know, scribe a line around 475 down, all the way around. Like I said, I thought it'd be 460 to ½ inch down from here and around. So alright, set your time lapse, scribe the lines, drill some holes. Flip around and do the back side, and then next will be up. I'll squirt some panel bond onto cardboard, dip the screw. There we go. All right, time lapse. that wasn't so bad. Yeah, let's take a look. You saw me put the trim on there too. I was gonna put the black anodized trim on there, but I don't want to scratch it, screw it up, so I'll actually go put it on the car. So the factory trim should suffice because it looks pretty exacting. But I do have a piece in the back laid up there so you can see possibly what it can look like in the near future, or in the future soon. Put your own timeline on it. So all right, let's look at the car. So there you go. So I actually broke the grinder out just in case, because I thought maybe like these screws was gonna hit the inner structure of the A-pillar, and it did not. So, yep, a little bit of gap there. Not worried about it because you figure there's no window in it. This trim's a bent a little bit. Hopefully the new stuff's a little straighter. Not only that, but the windshield will push it out, and when paint goes on it, you get a few mils of thickness throughout here anyway. So fill that in. Here I know about where. Is one of the reasons why I was going to get the screws in, the clips in, so I could test fit this to get rid of that gap there for where the roof meets the A-pillar. Same thing with up here. I described before, there is not much I can do about that gap because of the overlap here. It is what it is. Let's take a look at the other side. And same kind of deal. Looks pretty good all the way up. A little bit of gap here, which I knew from slicing this over, making that fit better. And then, like I said, a little bit of filler, missing a clip here. If that clip was here, and you can see that's about a little bit of a gap. It's maybe 1/8 inch or so. It's not too bad. Same deal up here, a little bit of a gap. And like I said, if the windshield was in, all that stuff would fill in. All right, let's look at the back side. Same deal. So this is the gap I was talking about down here where I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze. And I just only threw this cover back on just for the time being. Give something so I could put this together, take a look, and see how that looks. So I'm not worried about it. I'm not going to stress over it. It's, like I said, when you're blowing past somebody at high rate of speed, they're not going to see anyway. And plus also I can probably hand form the new stuff on there. All right, clip back down. So there's the new black trim up top. There's the rest of the trim. And if I had the clips in here, on this one here, that would hold it tight and down and in. So it fits pretty good this way. Like I said, that's why I measured it with the vernier calipers down. Same across the back. It says same deal over here. Gap, I'm fully fixing. And all across. And that's where I fix the roof line here to fit that. So yeah, when I go do the body work and stuff, I'll be putting the trim on and off to make sure I get that radius nice and tight. Alright, that's gonna do it for this video. Maybe until the next one. I don't know what I'm gonna do next. Part of me thinks I should put the roll bar in. Kind of at that point. It's either that or I might order the manual rack for it and cut the front subframe up and do the manual rack. TRZs, but I know I'm getting it from them. Now for me to do that, I need to take the engine back out, trans back out, which is fine. It takes minutes. And I might as well take the front end off. That way I can slide out that way, swing it around, and give me plenty of room to do what I got to do, and then set the engine driveline angle, all that stuff. Maybe I'll do that because that gets a little bit of work, and I can kind of just cherry pick stuff on that. So, all right, thanks for watching. Sorry this one took a few months to make because, well, yeah, it is what it is. So, all right, thanks for watching. Thanks for liking. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for sticking with me. Do the share stuff, comment stuff, questions, whatever you may feel, you just want to bullshit, that's fine too. All right, next time. Thanks, guys.